Netflix's Resident Evil TV show is finally out, and I just watched the very first episode. If you don't watch this channel frequently, or if you don't watch a lot of my videos, I am a huge Resident Evil fan. The video games are my favorite franchise of all time. I've talked about the video games on this channel a lot. I've done 2 trailer reactions to this TV show leading up to its release. I've showed these off before, but I just want to show them off again because I love Resident Evil. I have every single game. These are just some of the PS4 ones. The rest of them are over there, but trust me, I have them. Despite their quality, yes, I have all the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. I know he didn't direct them all, but everyone refers to the series as the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. Get the Welcome to Raccoon City steelbook. I even have the novelizations of the games by S.D. Perry. I read these when I was in middle school, and I absolutely loved them. I just absolutely love Resident Evil and the world of Resident Evil, and I am so ready to just consume any new piece of Resident Evil media and merchandise that I am able to. So that being said, consider subscribing if you like Resident Evil. I'm going to talk about this series extensively. I'm going to talk about anything Resident Evil related whenever there's new Resident Evil stuff to talk about. But anyway, the Netflix TV show is finally out. Like I said, I did 2 trailer reactions, and the trailers didn't really impress me, but now I watched the first episode, and I'm gonna let you know what I think of it. And I just want to let you know I did only just watch the first episode, so this is just my thoughts based on only the first episode. This is my first impressions. And with that being said, the first episode is titled Welcome to New Raccoon City, which I thought was kind of funny because you know that the new movie is Welcome to Raccoon City. Not that this movie coined that term, but still I just thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, first impressions. I'm actually genuinely surprised with how much I enjoyed watching this very first episode. Right off the bat, the production value feels good enough. The second timeline takes place, I think, in like 2032 or 2034 or something. Clearly, most of the budget went to that timeline, and we don't see that timeline nearly as much as we see the 2022 timeline. I was actually genuinely surprised with how well crafted this very first episode felt. For some reason, my mind was just telling me it was going to feel cheap and lazy and lame and poor. But again, with that being said, I only watched the first episode, and Netflix shows specifically have a bad habit of making the first episode really, really good, and then the rest of the season doesn't really live up to it, like the first season of The Witcher, for example. Or the first episode of The Witcher, I mean. Anyway, I was a lot more invested in this narrative than I thought that I was going to be. Seeing Jane as an adult in this war-torn world filled with the undead, it was kind of thrilling to watch, seeing her run from the hordes of zombies, seeing that giant maggot-looking creature, seeing her enter this outpost, and then Umbrella showing up and just murdering that dude, and then murdering and massacring everyone. Umbrella later in this timeline is absolutely brutal. No fucks given, no survivors left, and I'm just really, really excited to see more of that. And I was actually more invested in the 2022 plotline than I thought I was going to be. Watching the trailers, I thought that that was going to drag. But based on this first episode, I was thoroughly enjoying everything that I was seeing. I liked seeing the sisters' dynamic. I didn't at first. I thought it was going to come across hokey, and it's not the best ever, you know what I mean? But I still enjoyed it. I still liked watching it. I liked watching them break into the Umbrella lab and discover the secrets. I liked seeing their dynamic with Albert Wesker. Now, speaking of Albert Wesker, I want to talk about the world of this TV show, the world of Resident Evil in general. Before this show came out, it was announced that this series was taking place in the same universe as the games, which when I made those trailer reactions, I did not like that idea at all. That's not because I'm like a gatekeeper of the video game universe and that I only want games to exist in the game universe. The reason that I was so hesitant about that is because of the time skip, this 2032, I believe, time skip. Taking place in the same universe as the games would then make the games need to lead to the same point, assuming it was a global pandemic. And I personally would not have enjoyed that. One thing that I like about Resident Evil is how contained their incidences are. But anyway, that does not seem to be the case, because before I watched this first episode, I wanted to make sure that that was correct. And in all the interviews that I read, the showrunner seems to be saying that the games take place in this universe, but this show does not take place in the video game universe, if that makes any sense at all. So basically the way that I'm comprehending that is that the games happen in the TV show universe, but what happens in the TV show universe does not take place in the game universe. So basically the show is using the games as its foundation, as its lore setup, but what happens in the TV show isn't something that the games are then going to have to live up to, which I personally don't mind that. But how well that's handled is yet to be seen, but that also raises a lot of questions. So if that is the case, and the events of the games do take place exactly the same way they take place in the game, then there's just so many questions to be asked about how this TV show is even happening. For example, in the video game universe, Umbrella falls. Umbrella does not exist. Umbrella goes defunct, I believe, in 2003. So how does Umbrella still exist in 2022? Not only that, but Umbrella created the original Raccoon City incident. So how is the world okay with Umbrella creating new Raccoon City? Like, how did that pass? How is any government allowing that? Also, Albert Wesker. We don't know this because no Resident Evil games take place from the perspective of the average citizen, except for Biohazard and Village, Ethan. But I'm assuming Albert Wesker is a known villain to the universe. Like, he was a bioterrorist that wreaked so much havoc on the world and caused so much deaths. I'm sure his name is known to the universe. So how is Albert Wesker just alive and existing in this new body going by the same exact name of Albert Wesker? Like, how is that allowed? There's just so many questions, and I'm not like writing it off. I'm not saying that this show has no idea what the lore is. I'm just hoping that the show answers these questions and answers these questions in a satisfying manner. Anyway, that's my thoughts on season 1, episode 1 of Netflix's new Resident Evil TV show titled Welcome to the New Raccoon City. Again, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was going to, but we'll see if that continues. We'll see how the pacing is. What did you think of the very first episode or of the show as a whole? Let me know in the comments, but please don't spoil it for me. I'm definitely going to talk about this show more on this channel, so again, if you're at all interested, consider subscribing. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to talk about it. I may watch episode 2 and 3 and then do a review of those two, and then 4 and 5 and then do a review of those. Or I might just binge watch the whole season right now and then do a complete season review when I'm done. Regardless, I'm going to talk about this show a lot more on this channel. So again, if you're interested, if you're invested, or if you just want to support a fellow Resident Evil fanatic, consider subscribing.